Alrighty, well, we're getting ready to use the expensive refractory mortar. This is sort of the ones that went up there and up this way, as you can probably sort of tell. Get to a corner, at which point I've had to do one with the brick chisel. By the way, I should have pulled the brick chisel out on the first day, not the second day. And go back this way. This is sort of the third day of working on this since I've had time off. Unfortunately, I've noticed there's a bit of a design flaw. This started out with one idea. The idea being I'm going to cover as much as the original foundation as I can, and then I'm going to make a big archway out of bricks, and it's all going to be all fine, and then you realise you don't have enough bricks, and then you realise refractory mortar is really not cheap, and then you decide to use a car propane tank instead. So you do. But the trouble is, before you use a car propane tank, you intended for this firebox to come up to about here, whereas now it's actually only here. And then, well, before you'd done that, you also started building the back wall and this front wall here. Then you find out that all your plans change. But the trouble is, your design changed with it. And you didn't think when you had the propane tank that maybe you should have that come out the back. It was sort of pre-made beforehand a couple of winters ago, and you had your flue coming out the top. So then it remains at the top, instead of welding it closed and putting one out the back to allow you to snake the heat up through the thermal mass. Then it just comes out the top and heats the top part. So you see what I'm saying here? I've got a terrible feeling this is going to be as hot as hell without a problem. Probably not from here, like from here upwards. But if you've ever dealt with these, as the one you might have seen I got in the laundry, I've realised that when you light the one in the laundry up, you can burn your hands on top. You fry an egg on top straight away. Not a problem. You can put your hand underneath and you can almost hold your hand on because it's so bloody cold. The heat only goes upwards. So there's a good chance that the bottom quarter of this is going to be stone cold from here down to the fire brick layer here. Is going to be stone cold. This is going to be hot as hell. I want to put another 3 more bricks on the top of this because this hunk will be a thermal mass. But the trouble is with the exhaust coming out on an angle, and yes, it didn't turn out flat. I made it on a slight rise. Chimney's going to go in here. I really start to wonder now, your hot smoke is going to be from here upwards. Your firebox ends here, and it's about there. So this 2.5, well, 3 bricks worth. What's this? Is this from here to here going to be one big ass cold mass? Because the heat ends here and then stays on the top of this mass up to here. Is this going to work, or are we going to be hot from here up and then sort of here up? And then this is just going to be a big, you know, that's going to be cold. I've also learned this from playing around, experimenting with hot water systems and stuff, that, I don't know if I ever really showed it on video. I had one that used a frying pan that was hanging in and 3/4 of it was submerged. And what I noticed in that was when you heat water, it is damn scalding hot at the top and it's stone cold at the bottom. So I needed a pump in there which mixed it all, which you'd turn on once in a while to get the whole lot to mix. I'm fearing the same thing might happen. I'm fearing I might have some severely hot bricks and a whole big bunch. The bulk of the stonework, brickwork and concrete has been stone cold. I could have fucked this design, is what I'm trying to say. We will never know until I light it up. What I might find is that there's a lot of heat that transfers out of this part into this lower part, but probably not, because as I've found out with the wood heater and the laundry and hot water experiments, it just tends to only go upwards. Heat will never go down. And so then I've probably got all these half warm part and then this stone cold part on the bottom with no heat going into it, because heat only goes up and it's not going to go down. I just hope to hell it goes across, but then it's probably going to go across, if you know what I'm saying. Go across only so long as it's going up at the same time. Yeah, this is why you got to make a design that works on the physics, and then stick to that design that works on the physics, and for the love of God, don't change stuff halfway through. And if you do, redesign the change so that it still works on the physics, as opposed to, well, I can get a propane tank in it, but then what? Then what? Then it doesn't work as a heater? Well, you know, it'll work as a heater, but I need one to be a thermal mass heater. The trouble with the other one is, the existing professionally built one that I've had since I moved into this place, is that when the log burns out in 4 or 5 hours, you're freezing cold again. I wanted one that had at least 8 hours of heat. I'm told these can have up to 22 hours of heat, easily have 12 hours of heat, but will it, now that I've botched the design? We're going to have to find out when it's finished. Proof will be in the pudding. And I might have wasted a bit of time, but you... it's better to not make mistakes, but this is how you find things out sometimes, but then you spend so much time and effort, it's sort of too late to turn back.